What's up everybody, how's it going? This video is going to be very short and sweet. I'm basically just going to be telling you why you're not going to make it in life. And here I'm really talking about any endeavor that you undertake, whether you're trying to learn to code and become a software engineer, whether you're trying to launch a business, whether you are already in your career as a software engineer or something else and you're trying to get promoted, you're simply not going to make it. Why? Because it's way too hard. The odds are against you, and you don't have what it takes. Now, at this point, you might be perplexed because you might be thinking, wait a second, Clement, you made it in a lot of these things that you just mentioned, right? I went to a coding boot camp after college. I'd never written code before, and I learned to code in 6 months and landed a job at Google as a software engineer. I got promoted really fast at Google. I performed very well at the company. I launched my own company, AlgoExpert, which has been very successful. By the way, if you're a software engineer preparing for technical interviews, do check out my company, AlgoExpert. Go to algoexpert.io and use the promo code CLEM, CLEM, for a discount on the platform. So if I made it in all these endeavors, why am I telling you that you can't make it? And the answer is simple. I have advantages that you don't. I'm better than you. Don't believe me? Just look at the comments on my very popular video titled How I Learned to Code in 6 Months and Landed a Job at Google, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I'll read a few of them to you just so you can get it without having to go look at it if you don't want to. Number 1, don't listen to this guy. He's borderline genius levels with math and probably top of his class all throughout school. He's going to tell you can be similar to him, but you're not. You see? I'm telling you, I'm smarter than you, I'm better than you. Number 2, stopped watching after reading that he has an Ivy League degree. Like, dude, you're not an average Joe. Of course I'm not. See? You don't have what it takes. You can't do it. Last one, keep in mind this man has an Ivy League math degree. That probably helped him tremendously in getting internships. 7.1K upvotes. And there are tons of comments like these. Tons of upvotes, thousands of upvotes, all saying that, I'm better. I have these superior attributes that explain why I was able to make it and why you're not going to make it. Okay, time out. If you've been watching my channel for a while, if you know me even a tiny bit, then you know that I'm not being serious. Everything that I've said in the last 1 or 2 minutes of this video, I do not believe, except for the fact that you should use AlgoExpert if you're preparing for technical interviews. And actually, I do believe that you're not going to make it. But not for the reasons that all these comments imply. See, I believe that you're not going to make it if you are one of these people putting these comments or upvoting them. In other words, I believe that you're not going to make it if you don't believe you're going to make it. I believe that you're not going to make it if your mindset isn't in the right spot. Now, wait a second. Before you brush me off and tell me Clement mindset is like pseudoscientific, pseudo-motivational, kind of BS, hear me out. As human beings, we all have strengths and weaknesses, no exception. We all have things that are in our control and things that are out of our control, no exceptions. And we all go through hardships in life, most of which are not known to the outside world. As an example, this is like the supreme irony. That comment with 7.1 thousand upvotes, keep in mind that this man has an Ivy League degree, probably helped him tremendously in getting internships. The hilarity, the absurdity of this comment, when if you've been watching my channel, you know that the one thing that I did not have going for me going into my software engineering career was internships. That's the one thing that I royally messed up during my college years. I didn't do a single internship. I had 0 internships, and that actually did hold me back. That was really difficult. I had no work experience, not even non-coding work experience. So this comment is just like flat out wrong. And you've got at least 7.1 thousand people who presumably agree with this comment, presumably are using this comment as a crutch for why they aren't going to be able to make it. And it's just crazy. The point is, we all have hardships, and a lot of them aren't known to the outside world. So if you see someone who has a lot of things going for them, you have no idea what hardships they might have gone through in the past or what hardships they might be going through right now. These are all things that are common to every human being. And going back to mindset, your mindset, what you believe, is something that you certainly can control, or at least that you can train yourself to control. One of my favorite quotes is a very famous one that you've probably heard by Henry Ford. It says, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." And this quote, again, if you put aside the immediate gut reaction of kind of pseudo-motivational, kind of like BS, this quote is actually incredible. And I'll give you two arguments for which I think this quote is really true. The first one is actually just common sense. Whenever you undertake an endeavor, whether it be learning how to code, or trying to get promoted, or launching a company, these endeavors are hard in and of themselves. Like, launching a business, not easy. There are a lot of things that are going to be difficult that aren't going to go your way. Why would you add onto yourself the burden, the difficulty of having your mind tell you that you can't accomplish it? So you're already going through these actual challenges every day related to your endeavor, but on top of that, you're going to make it even more difficult by telling yourself, I can't do this because of XYZ. I'm not like this or that person, so I can't do it. Why would you make it harder on yourself? That's the first reason that mindset is so important. But the second reason is purely an empirical one or anecdotal one. I'll just share with you my experience. In life, if I look back in my entire life, right, I have always been someone who believes he can accomplish almost anything. Not blindly. I'm not going to say that I can fly tomorrow. That's not what I'm talking about. But most other things in life, I have always believed that I could accomplish. I can succeed. There is no reason that anybody else who isn't distinctly different from me. I'm talking about like, oh, if you're 7 feet tall, then there are certain things that you can do that I cannot do at 5'8" manlet status, or 5'8 and a half, 5'8 and a quarter, depending on the day, right? That's like objective. But otherwise, I can accomplish anything that I set my mind to. I can do it. And anecdotally speaking, everything, or almost everything, that I have believed I could do, I have actually succeeded at. I believed that I could learn to code and land a job as a software engineer in 6 months, and I did. I believed that I could launch a business and have it be very successful, and I did. And when people told me that I couldn't do something, oh, you're not going to be able to manage interns as an L3 entry-level software engineer at Google. Really? Watch me. And guess what? I managed 3 interns and an engineering resident, which is basically like an intern. I've always believed that I could do things, and all the things that I believed I could do, I did. Despite hardships or despite some of my weaknesses that could hold me back from them. And then, similarly, all the things in life that I believed I couldn't do, I didn't do. I never did all the things that I believed I couldn't do. So that quote from Henry Ford really rings true to me. Now, you might say, a lot of the things that you believe you can't do, you don't even undertake in the first place. For example, I don't believe I can be an NBA player, I can't play basketball professionally, and I never really tried. But that's kind of the point. The point is, if you believe you can't do something, and you believe that incorrectly for most things in life, because XYZ reason, because XYZ person has something more than you, then you might not even try to accomplish these things. And that is just setting yourself up for a life of failure and unhappiness. So, all that to say, if you fall into the category of people in those comments, not to put all the people in those comments, as bad people, but like, if you are someone who makes excuses, who doesn't believe in yourself, who only believes that other people accomplish things because they had something that you don't have, you're not going to make it. Otherwise, you might very well make it. On that note, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash the like button if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter if you enjoy short-form written content, Instagram if you like pictures, and I will see you in the next video.